It's going to be the afternoon briefing session, and it's going to be courtesy of Chari and Gernot.
Hello.
Hello.
Who are also known to some of you by the name of Modeselektor. So please join your hands and welcome them.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it was kind of good that you got comfy there, because obviously this is couples therapy. And I do have my noteboard here. And are there any issues that you wanted to share with your counselor?
Yeah, too many to tell.
Let's start.
Yeah, let's start. Where do you start? I mean, speaking of starts, there might be an outbreak of joy in the next 2 hours, because our dear friend Wolf is actually gone in labor, or rather his baby mama, at 3 this morning. And we somehow made a bet this morning that the baby's actually gonna pop out while we're sitting here. So if you see us checking the phones now and then.
Pop out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be one giant, that's for sure. But, so don't take it as rudeness. That's the only time mobile phones are allowed here. And we might have to get like a song of joy at some stage. So make sure you prepare one in your native language. Yeah, but speaking of couples, I never knew how you actually met, you two.
At school. Primary school.
In the 80s.
Yeah, it's true.
In the dark 80s.
Were you wearing like blue shirts and
East
stuff?
Germany. Communism.
Dusty air.
East side.
Because there's one thing you have to understand. Like, I mean, you're 75, right? You're 78?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that as well. Well, I was born in 74 as well. When the year we lost against another nation and doing a football World Cup and still won. And yeah, there's the
Football was forbidden in the GDR.
Well, can we therefore erase that game from the records then?
Yes.
Okay, done. Hooray. No, but what you got to realize is that people our age were actually raised to hate each other. Like, you see the wall here? Am I actually sitting? No, I'm sitting east. Damn.
Yeah,
West is over there.
We switch sides now.
Yeah, it's like, it's complicated, yes. No, but obviously everyone that went to the east during those days was just like coming back with all these stories. What were the stories that you heard about the other side?
They didn't tell us, they're still afraid to talk with us. Very, yeah.
I think they were isolated when they came over. There was no contact. No? It wasn't possible.
They still hate us,
Yeah.
Who's they now, just so that we get the hate right?
I know one story a friend of mine told me. His name is Rashad. He works for Dubplates and Mastering in Berlin, and he's cutting a lot of records. And he came before the wall, came down to Berlin because he just wanted to be different. And he was maybe the only person who wanted to, from the west side, who wanted to live in the east side. And he might know the East German history better than me, because I was a child. I didn't have an idea anyway about what was happening. So it was a crazy time, because everybody was very confused. So my parents, the people around us, the teachers, the bus drivers, the police, everybody was very confused because everything was new, everything changed, and I was just a little boy in the middle, and I know exactly the day when the wall came down, just because of I was in the church to get my piano lessons. So I needed to go two times a week to the church, to the cantor, we say. That's the guy who's playing the organ in the church. And he teaches all the kids piano lessons. And I hated it to go there, but I needed to. My parents forced me since I was 6 to play piano, and I never liked it. That's why I made techno now, or electronic music. And I remember the day when I was there, and I needed to learn or prepare something, but I didn't, and I was there, and the phone was ringing, and he picked up the phone, and he said just yes, yes, no, yes. Then he was hanging up, and then he left the room and never came back. And I didn't know what's going to happen, so I was waiting for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour. After 1.5 hours, I left because I just thought he went out and taking a piss or I don't know what. And then I went home, and my parents told me, yeah, the wall is gone. And my piano teacher never came back. So I was just happy that I don't need to go to the piano lessons anymore. So I was just, okay, cool, the wall is down, and yeah, I'm free now. I don't need to go to the church and learn.
So basically that was like a very personal freedom that you won that day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gorbachev. Yeah,
Right.
that was his name. Yeah.
So what did you actually speculate about? Like, what do you think happened to your piano teacher?
I have no idea. I just asked my parents recently if they know what's going to happen with this guy, but I think he was just happy because all the people who were involved in Christian movements, they had massive problems with the communistic governments, and they just wanted to leave the ground. And just, I think he tried since ages to leave the country, and yeah, he was a nice guy, but I hated him.
Yeah, welcome to life, yeah. So what was your experience of that?
I was in bed. It was a Thursday, November the 9th, Thursday evening, and I was in bed. And, my mother came into my room and she said, Sebastian, the wall's down.
We are free.
We are free.
We are free.
Should I go tomorrow to school? Yes. I went to school, but 30% or 40% of the class was missing. That's my story. One day later, we went to West Berlin.
To the
First time.
homies.
And we went shopping. Records, clothes, college jackets, Coca-Cola,
Turntables.
turntables.
What did you spend your 100 Deutschmark Begrüßungsgeld on?
You know what? He's an asshole. The first thing, you know, when the wall came down, the government decided to give every member from the ex-GDR a welcome present, and this welcome present were 100 Deutschmark, and so every bank was packed with East German people with this little paper in their hands, and they were waiting for their first 100 Deutschmarks. So Western money, real money.
30 pounds.
The good money. And everybody took this 100 marks. And Chari, he's an asshole. He found, after he got this 100 marks on the ground. So he got 200. So I think he's the only one who found 100 marks because some idiot lost his first present, you know, So
I mean, it doesn't sound like much now. I mean, 60 quid, but still, like, how long would your parents have had to work for that?
100 marks? I think, a month?
A month.
Yeah. So it was 1 100? Nee, 1000.
1,000.
I don't know. 2 years. They need to work 2
I
years.
think on the black market, it was a horrible changing course. It was 1 to 10, and yeah.
And he bought a ghetto blaster. I think our generation, everybody bought a ghetto blaster. That was the first thing we bought. Went straight to the store and bought a ghetto blaster. Do you still have it?
No.
No? You sold it for drugs.
I sold it
5 years later.
4 years ago.
When you got a proper member of the Western community, you sold it for weed.
Well, I mean,
For Red Bull.
yeah, well, knowing what...
Hold on a second.
This is our ad break, yeah. Well, knowing how much ghetto blaster you would get for 100 Deutschmarks, because that's about everything that you could save up for with like a summer full of paper tours and scrubbing the street and whatever a young kid does to make money. Like, there wasn't much of a party if you used that in a party afterwards, right?
We didn't use that for party. We just wanted to have it.
And then?
Only for habit.
Looking at it.
And when did you actually master that thought of like, oh my gosh, it does play music as well?
The thing is, the only way to discover electronic music was via the radio. There were a few really nice radio shows in the late 90s, late 80s in West Berlin. So we were able to listen to these shows. And we recorded a lot of these shows on tape.
On a ghetto blaster.
I think my mom is calling me. No, and I think I still have some of these shows. So it was the only way to get into electronic music or music in generally, because you couldn't buy any records. You know, when, for example, Pink Floyd released Dark Side of the Moon. When was it released?
8 million years ago. Yeah.
8 million years ago, and in a GDR you just got it 12 million years later. You know, so there was no new music, and yeah, we still recorded the music from the radio shows, and yeah, I still have a few nice tapes from the old days, like Marusha, you know.
Now, I mean,
Grandmaster Flash.
I guess that's what the then Chancellor Helmut Kohl called the mercy of the late birth. But for the people who don't know about Marusha, can you give us a little bit of an introduction of the significance of that person?
Does anybody know Marusha? No?
1,
History is just.
2.
I'm getting old. Marusha was the Marianne Hobbs of Germany for techno. Okay, but you know she didn't play dubstep at all. But
She played break.
it was in the end it was
She
more
played
like
hardcore.
and in the end it was more like Mickey Mouse techno or whatever. Like,
But in the early 90s, she played a really good radio show.
called Rave Satellites. It was every Saturday, and she invited all the DJs always, and it was a really important show. And before her it was Monika Diedl. She was the.
She had a very nice voice, a girl from Bavarian, the very erotic voice on the radio. I had no picture how he looks like.
And he was masturbating.
Masturbating. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something else people would not understand. Obviously, because of the wall and not being able to get over it, a voice from Bavaria is about as exotic as like a Japanese geisha then, right?
Yeah. Let's think about it.
Can I take a picture?
Yeah, and then everything went really fast. So we,
Before it goes
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, before it goes fast, I mean, the one thing that's probably really hard to understand, now you just plug it in and like everything you possibly want is there within however long that is. And the mere fact that you not only could not go to a shop, but like the availability was a totally different thing and a totally different way of how to discover pop culture, electronic music, however you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm too young to describe that because I just got into music after the wall, and my musical socialization,
Something like that.
yeah, something like that, was different than to the other kids around the world, and it's just because I grew up in Berlin. That's my theory, and when I didn't grow up with Nirvana or with all this music, you know. So the first track who really touched my heart was a Derek May track. That was a remix of Sueno Latino, and it was I think in '91 or '92, and that was the first music who really blew me away. I didn't know. I was just saying, what what's going on? What's that? I don't know what it is. I don't get it. That's too amazing. And yeah, since then I was just interested in this black discs and turntables and bass.
And what was the place where you would go and to get it? What was the place where you would go to get these black discs?
Hardwax. Hardwax record store. It's a pretty, it's the record store in Germany, or maybe in Europe. I mean, UK is not Europe, okay. But I went to this store the first time. I mean, Shari discovered, he started buying records very early, I think.
I think it was short after the war came out. We went to West Berlin and we visited the shop, and they found it in 1998. And they were the first in Berlin. They imported
US
records, techno house records, and that was the address for us. And a very small store like this room with 5,000 records. Yeah, and that's the story.
And I went there in very early, I don't remember, like 93 or something, and I asked for jungle because that was a new thing. I didn't know what it is. I was just into underground resistance before, and then like techno stuff, the mover, hardcore stuff, and then I heard rumors about this new thing, jungle, and I went to the store and I asked for, do you have jungle records? It was the first time. And Pete, he still works there. He said, "Son, I give you jungle records." And he gave me a bunch of records, and I still have them. One of them was an Apex record, and since then I just brought these records home and I played them till death every day. Like I woke up in the morning and I played them. Then I need to go to school, and I come back and I played them, and I was just like listening to it again, and I saved all my money and went to the store, and it took me 1.5 hours to get there, and sometimes I had just 10 marks or something. That means one record. So I spent 3 hours a day to go there and buy one record, and that
was a hard life.
I mean.
Yeah, it was. Really
Hardwax actually was also great because the guy that took care of the mail orders for people who lived far in the west, like us, and who were.
And do you know the wie sagt man auf Deutsch, die Art und Weise? The system of the mail order was like somebody called in the shop and then, okay, do you have this records? And then they played with the telephone in the air.
There was no email.
No email. No
fax was even the hot shit at the moment.
And the monthly paper with all the 12 inches and records, T-shirts.
Yeah, but what I loved most about it was this guy, I think Charles was his name?
No, James.
James, who had like the poor guy had a horrible stutter. And they made him do the mail order.
And he was British, was he? He was British.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't speak any German.
Yeah.
And remember Eastern German 15 years old boy calling at Hardwax to buy the new Jeff Mills record, and then you had James on the other side. And James was a strange person. He was always talking like this, like the new Jeff Mills.
That was way too fast.
Hold on a second. Hello. And it was like this. So, but it was I don't know. It was like part of the charm of the whole store. I love the store. I still love it.
I mean, the great thing with him was also because again, phones were really expensive. And I mean, we're really boring you with stories from the trenches here, right? But I mean, to call Berlin from like somewhere in West Germany would just like a minute would cost a fortune. So in the end, the record would cost, I guess, about 3 times that was it cost just because the phone conversation was so long. And then there was always this excitement when you went to the mailbox of like, phone bill or records, what comes first? Like, and then you had to find out that there's no use in like hiding the phone bill or burning it or something like that. it all comes back in the end.
Yeah, and one day I replaced James. He left, and they asked me to work there because I was every day there. And then they said, hey, why you should work here? So then
And after this point, everything was getting faster and faster. With Gernot.
that was the time when we lived together. We were roommates, and I mean, they paid good money, but the problem was I didn't got any money at the end of the month because I spent all the
You
money
had a habit.
records. I bought everything, like stupid shit, you know. Like I just wanted to have it, you know.
Every evening, Gernot was coming back at home, and then he had a big she had a big package of records.
Yes.
20, 30.
That's better than food, right?
Yeah.
What did he do all day while he was providing you with records?
Chilling,
Chilling.
Huh.
Unemployed.
chilling,
Sitting on a window, drinking coffee.
drinking coffee.
Waiting for Gernot.
He's still doing the same. Yeah. But now I'm waiting for him always
Oh, why is that?
because I don't know. That's part of my Modeselektor job, waiting for Shari. On the airports, for example.
But that's okay.
No, it's not okay. So, okay, Shari, let's check in now. Hey, wait, I just want to smoke a cigarette. Okay, let's smoke a cigarette. Okay, I just need to buy a coffee. Okay, I buy a coffee. Shit, where's my money? Can you borrow my money? Wait, no, we need to go to the cash machine. Okay, cash machine. And always waiting. He has, you know, I think he lives longer because he's very slow. And I'm so fast, so we are totally different. You know, as you recognize already, I'm the talking guy, and he's more the
listening guy.
yeah.
So how do you ever get anything done then?
I don't know. That's the other difference we have. He is synesthetic phenomena. He can remember everything. You know, like when he said it was on a Tuesday, then it was a Tuesday. I'm sure we can check on the internet. It was a Tuesday. He remembers the shittiest, smallest things, but he forgot the music to bring this morning.
I remember things which are 10 years ago happened.
Yeah, but when you ask him what time it is, and he tells
last
you
weekend, I don't know.
Yeah. When you ask him what time it is, and he said it's 3 o'clock now, then you wait 10 seconds. What time is it? He needs to look again. The watch.
That's my problem.
Oh, that's his problem. He's handicapped.
Which brings us back to the couples therapy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you are the mentor or the
I'll be your shrink, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So, Gernot, how does it make you feel when...
First, you should tell the story you told us this morning again for everybody.
Which one exactly?
The one who your mother likes that much to tell.
That one, yeah. That's a absolutely lovely one. But yeah, we'll do that later.
Oh, we do that later, okay.
Yeah.
We have time.
We have time.
That's okay. So, how does it make you feel when you have to wait for Charlie?
It's a process. So when you ask me how I felt 2 years ago, I needed to learn to handle that problem. Last year I bought a book.
That's very good, Gernot.
No, it was a sketchbook, and the sketchbook was there to write down every minute I'm waiting for him. After 2 weeks, it was full.
Who of my colleagues actually prescribed that?
Excuse me?
Welcher meiner Kollegen hat das verschrieben?
Was? He's like Shari.
But I remember that sketchbook was a gift from me to Gernot. It was yellow.
I think that was yellow. No, I think after the year, I was waiting 2 days. Like, I just wrote down 30 minutes on Tuesday, 15 minutes on Wednesday, and so on. And I think it was in total 2 days waiting for Shari. And
That's not a bad quota. Come on, there's 365 days a year. It's like,
Yeah, but you know, when you are on tour, you need to wait for other things as well. You need to wait for planes. You need to wait for drivers. You need to wait for sound check. You need to wait for sound check.
That's addition. That's a very addition. And in the end, you have
You have-
150 days for waiting per year.
No, not. But
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say 2 weeks, and that's not nice.
it's like being a supermodel.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow, just try to think of it that way. And
Yeah.
maybe
Wow.
I like that idea. Geisha.
now, what would your wife say about that?
About what?
About you being supermodels?
I don't know.
Good question.
You should ask her.
But I mean, obviously, you both do lead a family life. Now, with all that waiting, how do you run a family, especially when you're on tour all the time?
I don't know. Now we have a tour manager, and she is taking care of us. She. It's
She.
a she. We respect just she's as a girls, and she is doing our booking since the beginning, and after a while we fucked so many things up. We lost always the flights and took the wrong trains, and then the booking agency decided to hire a babysitter for us. And since then we have a tight schedule. So I mean, having a family, a little baby, or now a kid at home is not easy when you're on tour. And that means for you, as the man, it means for me that we pay the biggest bill, and that means that we don't sleep that much. So we take always the last plane we can get to the gig, and take the first plane back home. That means we arrive very late. Jack knows that. And then we leave very early. That means totally wasted to the airport.
No sleep.
No sleep. Sometimes we were so. I think I remember one time we played on a festival in France together with T. Raumschmiere, and we had a very we drank a lot, and then we went together with him to the airport, and the ground staff don't wanted to let us in because we were smelling so much. And they said, "No, we are not drunken anymore. We stopped drinking 2 hours ago." And T. Raumschmiere was just wearing sunglasses like this with a passport. And they don't wanted to let us in. So it was and that was just because we took the first plane. And T. Raumschmiere has a little baby, 2 little babies at home, and he's doing the same thing. So latest plane, first plane.
Is there actual kindergartens and primary schools in Berlin for like techno producers?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
We should do that.
Opens very late.
Very late.
2, 4.
Opening
Closes at
on
1.
Tuesday. Skipping Monday.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
The
there's
little
a business
Ricardo
model.
is coming. Hello. Little Modeselektor. Hello.
Black painted walls.
Strobe light.
Yeah, I can see a theme there. Yeah.
A very little customized function 1 system, you know, like
Yeah, with Rolf Zukowski on it. Yeah.
Rolf Zukowski and the new Shackleton. I mean, you know, our kids, they grow up with our music. So
With beats.
With beats.
They really love beats and bass drums.
Bass drums. They love bass drums.
So does that make the whole production process easier?
Which production process? Producing babies or?
Well, that's one. It's kind of harder here. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it changed. They changed our rhythm totally because we used to work by night always, so we just woke up at 4 usually. Then we started drinking at 6, and then we went at 8 in the studio, and we got out of the studio at 7 in the morning. And since the last 2 records, we are not able to do that anymore. So we have a day job, studio day job.
Like normal, boring workers. You go to work at 10.
We have this card. Ching. We
Make
get
coffee.
It's
make a
almost
lunch break.
Yeah, that's almost like an old socialist idea. Like every artist works in the same way as everyone in the factories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Took a while to find that.
Yeah. Do you find your health has improved?
I'm tired. I'm just tired always. I never.
Jet lagged.
I feel always like jet lagged. I hope it stops soon, but maybe in 10 years or so. I don't know. I feel always pretty tired. It's just because I never get enough sleep. Never.
Too much traveling.
Too much children. Waiting for Shari.
It's getting really sad here. And on this note, maybe we should go back to the production process.
Yes.
But this time maybe...
I see, yeah. He's prepared.
But maybe we leave the babies aside for a second and rather
Okay.
talk about the music then.
Music.
Yeah. What is it that you set up over there? Is this only for like life circumstances, or would you use something similar when you are in the studio?
No, this is just a live set.
And that's a surprise today because
He forgot the records.
I forgot the records.
Yeah, we wanted to play you some of our music and records, black discs. You know this? No? That's why we wanted to bring them, you know. No, and yeah, we forgot them at home this morning, and then we asked for a cab driver who's bringing the records from my house to the airport, but it was already too late, so we sent him back halfway. He was already almost on the airport, but I needed to check in, so I called him and said, okay, please go back. You will get your money there. So we didn't have any records, and then we are thinking,
We had a great idea.
let's buy our records on iTunes to play them here, because we don't have the music on the computer, but we have our live set here, so we can play all the tracks live. That's the only way we can play it. So, and
That's
when
a word.
when we play
premiere.
some music here, we need to perform them live. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
That's no fake. That's true.
Should we probably get into this straight away and leave a bit of the talk for a minute?
Yeah. So what should we play?
Are you taking requests like a wedding DJ?
Okay, the first request is the one. Is let's make it easier. One for girls or one for boys? Girls?
Girls.
Shit. That was okay for girls. Which one?
For girls.
Ja, welchen denn? You see, I need to wait for him.
I have an option, but I think it's too early.
I think which one? It's too early.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we play one of the tracks we did with our friend Apparat together from the Moderat project.
Motorrad.
Motorrad. The song is called A New Era. And we can play it with visuals. Maybe it's a bad idea, and then after we play some stuff. Yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, can we turn the lights down? Because we want to see the projection. So that's a track. That was actually the first track we did for the Moderat project. It's called A New Era, and
Yeah.
it sound check. Zieh mal hoch. Laptop. Okay. Can you see it? Okay. Just have a look.
Thank you.
42. The answer is 42. This is the project we have with Sascha Ring together. His artist name is Apparat, and the band is called Moderat. Modeselektor, Apparat. And the idea of this project is an audiovisual idea. So we, Shari and me, as Modeselektor, we work with an artist collective from Berlin together since the beginning called Die Pfadfinderei. They are a pretty famous VJ crew and graphic design agency. And yeah, they are in charge for our artwork and CI, corporate identity, whatever you can call it.
And live video show.
Yeah, and they come with us for the live shows, usually. And yeah, when we decided to make this Moderat thing happen, we just added them to the bill and made an audiovisual record. And yeah, this was one of the tracks with some clip made by them.
But if they're that much of a big part of the whole show, like why is it not Moderatfinderei in the end?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's always the question the Pfadfinderei is asking me. No, I mean we put the focus on the music first, and the Moderat project it's already existing since
2003.
When exactly? What day?
No, it was in 2002 during the soccer championship in Japan. And then we played with Apparat some shows, some synchronized shows with our very amazing equipment, 3 laptops, 3 boys. Then we tried to find a name, and then we found
Moderat.
Wow.
Moderat was the first thing which was existing was Moderat, and that was one of the main reasons why we continued, because we really liked the name Apparat, Modeselektor, Moderat, and yeah.
Plus Pfadfinderei.
Well, but to some extent, what's great about the project is that it somehow rather accentuates things that are interesting in your separate work, and it's almost like that brings it out a little more. And I mean, it's almost like it's like euphoric music for manic depressive people.
You think so?
Well,
it's not manic depressive. It's more the mode or the mood. It's the mood we like when we are in Berlin. So this is you know, I mean, Berlin is pretty depressive when you live there, when you grow up there, and it's for I mean, now it's full of people from all over the world who are so excited always, but they are usually for 1 or 2 years and then they leave back home. So but we grew up there and we saw the big changes, and we still see the big changes, and it's not a nice town, so it's not beautiful, not at all. I mean, it got destroyed 90%, and in the World War, and yeah, I mean, this record it's a little homage on this town, because we wanted to show the world that Berlin is not minimal techno and having a party for 3 days. You know, it's not the reality. I mean, you know, this is Berlin. Berlin was since the wall. It's a rave town, so it's all about techno and electronic music.
what do you reckon is the percentage of people that actually grew up in Berlin out of the ones that are actively doing music? Not everyone that claims to be a DJ there, but like actually actively doing something and getting gigs with more than 20 people.
I don't know.
Any ideas? Like, okay, but how many people that you went to school with ended up in like music,
Nobody.
art, or whatever scenarios?
Just me and Charlie.
And me,
Yeah, I mean one of the funny things is that normal people now, you know, they have families like us, but we are not normal. So
Journey to get
yeah,
the
I
pen
mean,
out
you know,
again.
they have a house and dogs,
A garage, a car.
garage, 2 cars, and all that shit. But they know Jeff Mills, you know, and that's maybe some of the effects from Berlin, or which, yeah.
I mean, as a visitor, it almost seems a bit like it's New York in the 19th century condensed in like 5 or 10 years. Like you always have these waves, and in the same way as you had like the Irish there and the Italians and the Germans and the Polish coming into New York, it's like, okay, first of all, everyone from Schwaben comes there, then like all the other counties of West Germany, then like
And New York came in 2003, 2004, was full of New York guys. That's where we met all our friends from New York. They are all back in New York. They just spent 2
years.
or 3 years. Like met Shaytek from Shaytek, or I don't know who else, like Fantastic Nobodies. Like we have a few friends we met in Berlin. They're from New York, so it was like full of New York guys.
Then all the Latin Americans and Spanish came.
Yeah, but they come just for the weekend. We call them EasyJet ravers. They just they arrive on Friday, then they go straight to Berghain, and then they leave on Monday morning. Almost dead. That's why we have so many wheelchairs on the airport on Mondays, because some of them cannot. They cannot walk anymore. It's over.
It's so sad.
It's so yeah. I mean, the first, you know, I think I was 14 or something, or 15 years old, and I went every Wednesday to Tresor Club, which is closed now. I mean, it's open, but it's different. It's different location.
That's not real anymore.
No, it's not run by the same people. And anyway, and I went there every Wednesday because the entrance was just 5 marks, and I was able to afford it.
Who was playing there on Wednesdays?
It was called Headquarters. It was like new faces and some residents. So DJ Tanit was playing always. But from time to time, you had the luck to see like
Underground Resistance.
we saw
Live.
Mad Mike with a hockey mask and Jeff Mills on a 909 and Rob Hood playing, and I didn't know what's going on, so I was just like, that was rapping. Mad Mike was rapping, and so Mr. Underground Resistance with a hockey mask and Rob Hood with a 909 and Jeff Mills, and I was like, oh, what's that, you know? And it was on a Wednesday, so then next day I went to school, you know. I was like, oh, and how was it yesterday? Well, was nice. So, I mean, things like this are not possible anymore.
Were you still part of in the same school? Oh no, you years apart. So, but were you on the same school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But different classes.
I was a
Damn
little shitty guy, you know, and he was the big dog.
In an empty class.
Oh. Still empty. He was alone.
Did you have any other rave buddies from school?
I have one who lives in New York now, and he used to live in London, so he followed always the music. And he used to live in London. Now he lives in New York, and yeah, he's still on the ball, so he knows everything. So he's like, hey, have you checked out this new UK funky guy? Do you like UK funky? Yeah, I like UK funky. And then so on. Hey, do you know this Aqua Step guy from West Brighton? Oh, yeah. Or this, I don't know, this, what's that music called from Argentina?
Yeah, cumbia.
Cumbia. Then
But you have
cumbia
you have
step,
10 different styles of cumbia in that electronic part of the very big. It's like a tree, no? You know, you have the cumbia tree, and then you have a
cumbia step tree,
step,
cumbia sub, low step,
gangster.
funky, gangster.
high speed.
country ambient tree, whatever. And yeah,
When did you actually stop working in a record shop then?
my problem was I had the Monday, so that was one of the main reasons why I needed to stop, because we started playing the weekends, and then it was the Monday is the bad day. So when you play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, typical Sunday thing, like
But was somebody there on Monday?
Yeah.
Customers?
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't change the date, and yeah, then it was time to say goodbye. And Marcel Detman replaced me, so I needed to work him in. Oh, is that right to say work him in?
It sounds really nice.
Yeah, work him in. Because with me is not good cherry eating. Anyway, no. Marcel came after me, and yeah, he got the Monday, and I said, yeah.
And now he got the Tuesday.
Now he's not in the store anymore. He is in a he's in the distribution, and he's ordering the techno stuff, the Euro stuff, and US. So he's in charge for.
Is there anyone working there that did not go on to make records?
Yes,
Yes.
Manne, Micha, Michael. He's one of the very, very long members.
He's the only one.
He's the only friendly guy in the store. You recognize him, he has glasses. No, they are all friendly, but you need your time to break the barriers, They check every new face, they check up, like, what you want. So when you go at Hardwax and you ask for, do you have some pumping stuff, then you can go. Just turn around and go. So they will never serve you properly. So you just need to read a book about Detroit music and dubstep before, and then go. And you need to drop some skills, you need to show what's going on.
But what are like the 10 best things to stop like a dubstep or Detroit techno imposter? Someone who would just have read the book but not know what they're talking about. I mean, there must be a very delicate Hardwax way of finding out, like, do you know, or are you just pretending?
No, I think the Hardwax communication is a very special way of communication. It's it depends on who's working, I mean, when you have the luck. Yeah. I don't know. I had a few situations, so I think they asked me to work in the store to bring some freshness again, because you have, for example, Pete, aka Substance. He's working there since a long, long time, and he's specialized in one very special, type of music. Then you have other artists like René. He was Vainqueur. I don't know if you know this, but every one who's working there is specialized in one thing, and so you have Marcel and Chet for the techno stuff, and then Sleep Archive is working at Hardwax as well at the moment. It's a family thing. It's pretty weird family thing there going on.
And you have Manne.
And Manne. Manne is the good guy. No, okay.
Ask for Manne. Next time when you go to Berlin, go to Hardwax.
We force him since years to make a record. We want to found a label just for him called Manne.
Manne 01.
Manne Records. Manne 001. We're waiting for the record.
Let it rain manna from heavens.
Not Manna. Manne. No, that's just his nickname. Yeah.
How do you
Telephone.
now with all this traveling and stuff? Obviously, when you're in the store at least once a week, it's relatively easy to keep up with what's going on. How do you manage that? Because you seem to be relatively well informed on what's going on.
There are two different sites. So you have the internet thing. So I get a lot of postings every day and links and new stuff. And then
Of which you listen to like how many percent?
I try to check everything. So it's
Right.
I mean I know exactly when I get the new Powerhouse promo from DJ Nobody, then I don't listen to it. But I have a really good well working system from people all over the world. Jack is one of them, for example. He's sending me the third time the same link. He didn't recognize it always. Like, hey, new record, totally amazing. I know it since. No, and when at Hardwax we have our own little folder where they're putting stuff we like. So I have one guy at the store who totally knows what I like and what I'm interested in or what could I like, and then he's putting me promos and all that stuff. So I go once a week there and take my records and check them.
Do you find that old school system of like someone in the store actually deciding, oh yeah, that's something he could like, that's something he could like, that's something he could like, and putting them aside works better than like these algorithms on like web stores where they go like, oh, if you bought this, then you might like that?
Of course. Because it's a different way to bring people into music. The personal thing is very important because after a while you have a relationship with. Also, I can just talk for myself, but
I have some additionals after you.
no.
The feeling when you go in a store and you have a real person with a real record who is showing you, okay, that's a record, and there's a story behind, and there's a linking to another projects, and you play it on a system in a very good system in a record store. That's the best promotion you can have to buy a record. And for example, when you go on the internet,
it's different music
it's
there
different.
anyway. You know, in the internet it's different.
Every file is short, bad quality. And that's not a feeling.
And I really like the idea to have a label which don't want to have any promotion, don't want to have digital sales, just a stamp, white label, doing it for fun, for the music. And sometimes you have a record which has success. For example, last year there was a record from Hardwax, Equalized 3, and is one of the guys who working there. He wants to be anonymous, and he's.
Which one was it again?
It's not money.
it's not money, no. And this record had a really amazing success, like the Sleep Archive phenomena. Sleep Archive was there. The person behind Sleep Archive is producing music since ages, but he did totally different stuff under different names. So I think they have different synonyms. So 3 or 4 names sometimes. But we are totally different. We are kind of the ambassadors between the realities. We are there, and on a Friday we play in Spain with Richie Cardo Villahorten. And on the Saturday we play
in India
on a dubstep party in Kenya, and on Sunday we play
in Scotland.
In Scotland, a UK funky garage house ambient country party, and we are everywhere. I mean, for us it's like fun to discover everything and to see what's gonna happen. We really like pop and bands, so we I mean, I would die for Blondie Redhead, when I try to, when we play the summer and the festivals, and I see Blondie Redhead is playing, then I force everything from the crew to just stay 2 hours longer that I can see them, like they're waiting in a bus, totally pissed. Gernot is still in the concert. No.
Finally, you get your revenge, and Shari is waiting for you.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So this is like, it's a good thing to be interested in everything, but it has like the bad side on the same moment, because you have so much input the whole time. You got input from everywhere, and yeah.
But I mean, having too much input is probably the curse of our times, really. And that's something we all have to deal with every single day, and just making decisions on like, what do we focus on what not. And now if you are open enough to be just tickled and interested in so many different things.
Yeah, but it's a question of discipline, you know.
Aber natürlich.
No, I don't have this discipline. For example, when I get addicted very fast, very quick from several things. Like, for example, I have a new app for my iPhone, a game, something, you know, or a little synthesizer, and I'm non-stop playing with that. I don't get bored of it. I'm getting addicted, and I need to delete this app to stop it. And
That's true.
Yeah,
Really.
and just recently I gave all my passwords for all the accounts for MySpace, Twitter, Facebook, all this Web2 war things. I gave all these passwords away to someone who's taking care of it now, because I just realized that I never read a book. I didn't read a book since 3 months or something, and I just wasted too much time in the internet. And that scared me a little bit, you know. So I think everybody of you has this problem, but I need to make cuts, you know, to...
I mean, that's obviously a bit of life advice there, but if you go back to the studio and the production side of it, it's really like, how do I actually come up with a record that sounds like me or us in that case?
I don't know. The thing is, when you ask me how you made the Moderat record, I don't remember. I remember situations when, for example, Shari was sleeping behind Sasha and me for 4 hours, and we were thinking about to paint his face black or something, you know. But I don't remember how I made this melody or this. It's like being on a rush, you know. I just need the situation I need to get into. I need to get into a flow. It doesn't matter what I use. So when we are in the studio, we use everything. So we use software, we use hardware, we use toys, I don't know, microphones, instruments, everything. And sometimes we create some sounds or melodies or beats, and then we forget to record that or to save the presets or whatever, and then we never. We had so often. There's one funny story. We set it up one of our studio rooms 2 years ago with analog equipment. So we have a lot of analog equipment, which is just lying in a corner and getting dusty. But this time we said, okay, now we make a proper MIDI studio like in the old days and everything fine. And then it took us 3 days to set up the equipment, and then we were thinking about should we bring the Atari back, you know. So we really want to want to have it old school. And then it was running, and we made sessions, and then there was one session which was amazing. And Chari,
we switched the light off to see all the LEDs. It was like it was like on an airport. You see the runways. Everything was red.
We are both wearing UR t-shirts, and then we made a session, and we recorded the session, and then we switched it off, and then after 2 weeks we wanted to listen to the recording. And Chari,
we recorded it,
but with a microphone in a room, and the phone was ringing in the middle, and it was no quality at all. And we were just thinking, okay,
bad commands and what's the word for rülpsen in English?
Barfing. He was barfing. He's the best barfer in the world, by the way. It's the only thing he can. No.
Isn't it more like burping?
Birthing?
Hast du gekotzt oder gerülpst?
Barf.
Ne, Kotzen ist ja puking.
Ja.
Anyway.
Okay,
Details.
Yeah.
The session was recorded on a very
we still
shitty...
have it, and it sounds it's a nice session, but you know, and then we tried to recreate it, but it wasn't impossible. Yeah.
Win some, lose some. Okay, so obviously you can't always recreate that when you go live, but nevertheless you have to deal with like all these punters that come there, pay good money in the meantime to come and see you, and they have certain expectations. How do you make sure you can give them the experience that they want?
As I told you, there are two different. This is the live thing and the studio thing are totally different worlds. So you cannot bring them together. So when we are in a studio, we don't want to have people around us. So it's like being naked, or I don't know. It's like I don't feel good. For example, we have a friend from Japan, and he's a really nice guy, and we have a really nice friendship with him, and he's interested in electronic music and gear, and it was just a couple of years ago, and he came to our studio every day, and he thought he's doing us a favor to show his respect, and I was getting more and more into I don't know, I felt it was like feeling like Big Brother, because I was like sitting there, and then is he still there? Yeah, he's still there. Okay, I don't know.
He was behind you.
MySpace. No, and I don't like this to have people around us. For example, we change the rooms very often. We used to have a caravan with a studio inside. Like, sounds pretty pimp, but it was shit. It was smelling inside like a dead cat or something. It was not nice inside, but the sound was good, and we just wanted to have the situation that you can go everywhere you want and make music, record music, and have fun.
And how many times did you actually really use it, honest?
A half time.
The problem is when you are in a caravan and you say, okay, let's go on the lake and make a track, then you don't make music. So you end up on the lake. And I mean, it was fun. So, but
It was an experience.
It was a idea we had. So we wanted to record a full-length record in this caravan, but no.
But you had a nice sunburn.
Yes.
Yes.
And
still. Yeah.
Now, when you say it's really personal when you are in the studio and you can't really deal with any visitors, I mean, it's hard enough you're two already, so there's someone outside of your own brain and emotions there while you're trying to come up with an idea.
No, we are one person in the studio. That's crazy. So we don't need to talk. No, it's like being an old couple. So he is the technique geek. So, and he needs to explain me always the things, and I'm like a I don't know, but I have sometimes no idea what's going on there on the computer, and then Shari's coming and says, "Son, come on, I explain you MIDI driver." Oh, and I say, "Oh, okay, now I got it." And so
cable.
The cable. Sorry, no, and it's like this. So he got me into music production when that was long time ago. He had a little home studio at home, and I came one day to him, and he had this EMU sampler. Was it the EMU?
The AMX1.
AMX1 and an Atari and a Space Echo, and I came just by coincidence to him. I think I wanted to buy some weed or something. I don't remember.
I mean, that's something every Berlin musician needs to drop. Like, I mean, it's almost like a Sido story now. And is that how you got the money for the Space Echo?
No, I was just kidding. He never smoked.
Yes.
Well, never get high on your old supply. Hey?
No. I tried sometimes.
He tried sometimes PCP or stuff like this. No, and then
anyway.
and I came into his room, and he had a dub loop running. So and I came into, and then he was.
We send it through the Space Echo.
Yeah, and there's one button, the Modeselektor button, and I think we spent 4 or 5 hours just with one loop playing with the buttons on the Space Echo. And since then, we are a band called Modeselektor. That's the story, by the way.
It's very short and boring.
Should we play a track?
Yeah.
Which one?
How about going live?
We should. Let's play Sucker Pin.
Thank you.
No, it's released. It's 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as live techniques go,
Yeah.
laptop posing, very difficult discipline, right?
Yeah, I mean, we are so busy always. I think we don't look like checking emails. Or
But that's the main concern, right?
yeah, I know, but I don't care.
When we started as Modeselektor, we played with real electronic instruments, with drum machines. We played only in Germany and Berlin shows. We did a little Berlin tour because it was impossible to carry all that stuff. And one time we played in Berlin. You have a little island on a river Spree. There's a club. It's called Insel der Jugend, Island of Youth. And we put all the gear with the Handwagen. Bollerwagen, you know what it is?
It's like one of these carry-along, how do you call them, milk crate things.
Yeah.
19th century.
Over the bridge to the island. It was looking funny.
Yeah, with all this.
Yeah, the glamorous life of being a techno live act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that noise coming from, actually?
Which noise? I don't hear it anymore.
I switch it off.
That's it.
Ah, there's still another
Yeah.
one.
Noise is important.
Yeah, if it doesn't totally fuck up your ear, because there's still some high frequent thing there.
That's not us.
You think so?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I wanted to use the projector for
Okay.
the.
Well, I'll switch it on again. Don't
Okay,
worry.
cool.
I'll happily get up for you. No, yeah, but still about the whole being live thing. It's how much of that is actually planned? I was wondering that, especially with the Moderat shows, because you have the feeling like, I mean, most of the tracks stop when Carl Craig would start introducing the bass line.
You're talking
You know,
about Moderat show or what?
Yeah,
Really? Hmm.
I mean, there's the build up, the build up, the build up, and then
In the right
Oh. what happened?
That's the way. That's the Moderat way.
Fine.
We don't need this. Wie heißt das nochmal? There's a very nice term for it. I remember later. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, when we play with just two, we both as Modeselektor, then there's not really a big plan behind. So we are talking about which tracks we want to play and in which order, but we change it anyway. And when we play with Moderat, we need to follow the track listing. So because we have a pretty massive visual setup going on stage, and the VJ who is playing the clips, the Moderat clips live, he needs to,
At least know which hard drive to use or
No.
whatever.
No, it's all. No, yeah. I mean, it's like playing in a band, but we don't have a bass player. We have a VJ, and then we need to hold eye contact on special songs. Like, okay, now there's, for example, one song called Le Grand Marche with Moderat, and there's a concrete block in the middle which is exploding in one special moment, and he needs to play it live. And they are always so nervous because of this song. They're just like this. because they are not musicians. They are so into their visual thing, and I mean, I told them always, you just need to count. Just count the fucking song, and then you know when it's gonna happen. And he's also, and then I need to do this now. And yeah, I mean that's maybe we can have a look on it.
Yeah, why not?
Beamer is off. Is it on again? No, there's still this. Oh, it's.
Do we maybe, while it's warming up, want to take a question? Hang on. Oops. You want to have my mic in the meantime?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. So my question is, I saw that you were choosing tracks on the live PA. So I wanted to know, while you're performing, you have to continuously play songs, right? So how do you go from one track to another?
What you saw is one song, so bassline, beat, vocals, hi-hats, snare,
Brave signal.
and you can save this up as a preset. So when you play your next song, you just go for the preset and then push the button, and then
And you can load track after track.
it takes
Go into a new song.
it takes long 10 seconds.
Okay.
And yeah, very simple. Also we customized this patch to play under every circumstance you can imagine, you know, with rain, snow, drunken, without sleeping, dead, you know, everything. I mean, this patch, Jihad live patches, is made from people who use it. So we used it nonstop. So for example, when we buy a new MIDI controller, we change the whole patch for the MIDI controller. So then I just buy MIDI controller just because of one or two buttons. I have more than I have more, things to play, and yeah, it's pretty intense to get into this Maximus P thing. But Sasha Apparat is helping us a lot with that. So he's or for example Robert Henke Modeselektor, he's helping from time to time. I can change little things, and so, but when I want to change really
Global things.
I need to call Professor Henke Modeselektor. He's professor actually at the moment at the university in Berlin. He replaced one of the
design.
Kraftwerk guys who was teaching there. Anyway, yeah. Yeah.
But when you go and buy MIDI controllers, doesn't it feel like, I don't know, like compared to like buying a synth, it's a bit like going to buy condoms or something.
Yeah, cigarettes.
Yeah.
For example, we use these blue things. They are not available in the stores anymore, so I need to buy them on eBay because I really like this handling of this one, this controllers. I think this is number 8 already, and the last one I bought in the US, so it took 4 or 5 weeks to get one, and yeah. Then we used it sometimes this Korg 08 thing, but it's too heavy. It's like 7 kilo, and our Modeselektor rule is hand luggage, because I cannot wait on the belt for my luggage, you know. So I just need my luggage straight. And yeah, as I told you, I'm just tired of waiting. And anyway, when you play a lot and tour a lot on airplanes, then it's better to have everything.
But the hand luggage rule, it's only for Modeselektor. For the Moderat, we had 19 cases.
Yeah, 400 kilogram.
Nice.
That's a little
Every
bit more.
time we paid extra luggage every time to all the airlines in the world.
Yeah.
So sad.
Wouldn't it make sense in that case, like have like an airline sponsoring you? And
Yeah.
They don't sponsor, just soccer teams or championships. You know, we are just like a little piece of shit for them. You know, Lufthansa. Hello, there's just one airline I want to have as my sponsor, and this is Lufthansa, not British Airways. Yeah.
right. Any more questions here?
So Oh, hi, my name's Maele. I'm from New Zealand, by the way.
Hi.
So when you guys are performing live, like as you were doing just then, and you have sections where you're building up to a big drop and you take the bass out for a while and you bring in the drums or whatever it is you're doing, do you guys have a set sort of regiment thing that you guys are doing, or do you just sort of feel it and go for it as you please?
Yes, you just feel it.
Okay.
Sometimes we see that makes no sense to make a big rave deal here. So just sometimes, for example, we can play totally quiet. I mean, we can play a quiet set if you want to, or a totally J Dilla-esque set, or a trance set. It's like we can do everything, There's like mostly we play all these genres in one set, so we have different parts always. So we usually think in tempi. So we have blocks, like we have a block which is 100 BPM, that's the hip hop block. So then we know exactly we have a few tracks who are on 100 BPM. Then we have 140, my favorite.
And we can change the live or the track lists in the next 10 seconds or 5 seconds.
Sometimes you have a super friendly DJ before your show and he's playing 2 or 3 Modeselektor tracks, then you need to switch anyway and change your set. And so it's all about feeling. Sometimes we are really tired and the show is amazing. Sometimes we are totally into it, and then it's like medium, or it's random. There's no concept. It's not Chemical Brothers, like. No.
Which is not easy for the Pfadfinderei guys, for the video guys. They are always looking.
They have the hardest job, by the way, because they don't know what's going on. They need to change everything. Their setup and track list and.
So you're having like these intercom things, like
No.
you're in the Tour de France, and you go like, next track's gonna be.
No, we have.
No, we have Twitter.
Wireless.
We tweet it.
I Twitter, I just know. What? Next song? Oh.
So, next song, Gernot?
Next song?
There was another question over there, I think.
Oh, okay.
There's a question. Just ask in German. Bayerisch.
I got a question about the sound, because I think you have the very typical Modeselektor sound. It sounds every track or every production, when you hear it, it must be Modeselektor and nothing else, because I think every part or every track is very it sounds very thick and very, I don't know, very punchy, and it sounds like you have very not much tracks. One track, it's very minimalistic from the construction, but very punchy. Every track is very, I don't know. So I just wanted to ask about the equipment which you use, or how do you? I show you
what is the secret. That's the secret.
Yeah, we don't use sound cards. We have some rules, so we don't use sound cards. So we
Mini jack cable every time.
Yeah, we
Really?
recorded Tom York with that, so you don't need sound cards. You don't need big equipment, We have not really a nice
Outboard.
monitor situation at all. So we just work a long time and test the tracks on sound systems. The good thing is when you tour, you can test your sketches, and then you know exactly, that's too much bass.
Or another thing is, sometimes you take a computer in the car. We have a mini jack adapter, put it into the radio, and that's the best sound system you can have.
We listen. Really? We are listening to. We checking the tracks on a lot of things, like his old Ghetto Blaster he bought with his first 100 Deutschmark. He bought it therefore.
Yeah.
I never doubted that.
Yeah, I cannot tell you.
I just thought you have one regular way to do this.
No, we change speakers always, like
Great,
monitor
yeah,
speakers.
okay.
So We worked a long time with Adam speakers, then we switched to Mackie, then we switched to Genlag. Now we are working with Genlag, but in the end it's just a speaker, you know. I mean, we don't care.
And to know you speakers. The first speakers we used for the first records in 2000, 2001. That was
He found them on the street.
yeah, on the street on a Müllhaufen in German.
In German. He's like Westerwave.
Wave. And OGBL speakers for hi-fi, and then
Yeah, they looked like
80s.
they were white, but they were yellow in the same. They look pretty fucked up. Yeah, but in the end, there are just a few things you should take care. I mean, when you buy speakers, then just read a little bit about how and where's the best situation. And in the end, you cannot make you a perfect. Don't spend too much time with the perfect situation to listen to music or to produce music. I mean, a friend of mine, who Mark Ernestus, he owns a Hardwax record store and makes music as well. He spent like 2 years to building up a studio, and he's still. It's absolutely over next level. What this guy is doing, you know. I don't need that. So it's really nice to go into a studio like this and to have a mix down or to master your stuff or to listen to your stuff and to have a reference. But I think we will never have a studio like this. Never.
Which is okay.
It's okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to ask, you were saying it's like a rule not having a sound card. Is it for any particular reason or
No.
no? No, I was just saying could have crashed. So sometimes. Sound cards.
You know, we bought sometimes sound cards and we checked them out and we try to work with them, but in the end, no, we just don't use them. I mean, if we want to have a proper studio, we go to Apparat in his studio. He has a nice Duda mixing desk and it's like
Same speakers.
same speakers.
These are really cool. Or
Yeah.
really.
They're good, but they're lying to you. They're lying to you. They sound too good.
But don't you get any latency on the MIDI controller?
We have a little offset regulation. We are all the time in sync.
I have a little delay. I'm a little bit faster than him, but we have. No, but we just. I mean, when we play live, you know. No, but there's a little delay. Or is that what we are talking about, or what?
Yeah, offset regulation.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
He can put his signal into the back.
Wow.
Oh my God.
All good.
There was another
Can I?
question.
Hi,
sorry.
I'm Adam from San Francisco.
Hi.
Hey, Adam.
So man,
What's up?
how you doing? What's happening?
Hi, Fee.
Yeah.
Where are your stunner shades? Where's your white tee?
that was 5 years ago, man.
I know.
I was wondering, how do you guys control the mix of the different instruments? You know, because I mean, obviously you have the mixer up there, but you know, to know what the balance is going to be between the kick and the bass, and what all the different elements in the. Is somebody else mixing the actual things? I mean, that's all you guys.
Yeah. We prepare the presets in the studio and then we check them on the sound systems. And after every sound check, I save new presets up. So I know I have, for example, a preset which is 2 years old, and I never touch it because I know it's sounding perfect. And then I have presets where I know, okay, on this and this sound system, it's better to make the hi-hats louder. So
That's what we do during a sound check. To listen every track and then to find a new balance and then
to check it for the sound system that it's working on the sound system, which is not always possible. For example, on a festival when you don't have a sound check, but usually on the big festivals there are nice sound systems, so
Yeah,
Thank you.
And he's doing the mix between
me,
and
him, and me,
yeah.
and all the effects and
Yeah.
reverbs. Delays.
Hello.
Hi.
Little question about your sound. Sometimes it's easy to forget you guys are from Berlin. I mean, I think you have more in common with a London sound in a way. A lot of vocals, multi-genre, a lot of big drops. When I think of Berlin, I think of kind of longer sets that sort of run on and sort of. What's your thought about that? Is your sound kind of a backlash to that? Do you like that? You're not too into it?
That's what I wanted to try to explain when I talked about the Moderat record. That not everything is. That you cannot say the sound of Berlin is this like this, you know.
Oh, for sure. But
sure,
I think
we
in
are-
general, the
we are
clubs are geared
we are
to-
influenced by British rave music since the beginning. I mean, you know, dubstep is rave, you know. Even it's Digital Mystics, it's rave in the end, you know, because there's one idea behind we really like. I
Who,
think
by the way, are some of your biggest fans, actually.
Mahler?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. I mean, Mahler, I saw him a few times DJing. I mean, we are friends, so and I mean, the last time that someone blew me away was like minimal music. In the end, it's minimal music, you know. It's like, it's not much. It's like, it's dub, you know. Dub is minimal, very minimal. Not the genre, like, you know. I don't want to think in genres, you know. Genres are so old-fashioned, you know. It's makes not really a sense. In the end, it's about the tune, you know. I mean, if a track on Minus, Richie Houghton's label, is good, you know, then it's about the track, not about the
construct.
about the cube and what the black dress and all that shit, you know. I mean, it's about the tune. Or if you have a trance track, you know, which is good, then the track is good, you know. You can't change it, you know. It's like it's not here. It's in your ass and in your heart.
So, but I don't really mean the track itself. I just more mean your entire set. I mean, you're not the kind of guy to do like a sort of 6 hour, really sort of slow build up kind of set.
Yeah,
you're
but
sort of more in your
tired.
face.
I'm tired of it, you know,
Okay.
because I grew up with that. That was
That's what I mean.
yeah. That was the music. That was my first music experience, and I had that long enough, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't need that anymore. So
And when we talk about a short set, like a Moderat is a short set, then what we want to show the people, to show a set like a movie, and the movie is about 1 hour and 1 hour and a half, and with no encore, no extras in the end. It's only quit. That was a plan for Moderat, and that's the reason why the set is too kind of short, but it's intense.
Sure,
and
sure.
it's a difference between DJ and live, you know. I mean, I cannot imagine to play a song which is 12 minutes long, you know. It's like, what should I do on stage? What should I do? Like waiting, 8 bars, 16 bars, hi-hat, effects,
Reverb.
8 bars, 16 bars, snare, break, go on, next break, long break,
Reverb.
C part, and next track. I mean, then you play 5 tracks and 1 hour is over. No, I mean, I grew up with that, so
So do you feel close to
I can't do it, you know. For example, when I listening to, let's say, Digital Mystics track, okay, Mahler, new record, Deep Medi Records, 6 minutes long. I could never make a track like this, you know, because it's deep, you know. It's like, or house. You know, I just bought an acid record from DJ Sneak yesterday, an old one, secondhand from '94. It's an acid track. It's like 8 minutes long. Well, it's great. It's great to listen to and great to dance. But I could never do this.
Do you feel kind of closer to the UK scene in that sense than the Berlin one?
You really want to claim him, do you?
No. It's just interesting to me. It's just interesting because you know the kind of sound that you're doing is all around me all the time, and
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, why not?
yeah, okay, good. Cheers.
We are feeling very close to you.
Yeah, but
And to Jack.
Speaking of which, why on earth is it that is there any place on earth where you're bigger than Glasgow?
Maybe Berlin, but I think no. It's the same level, I think. I have no idea. Last time we played there was Moderat, and then I went with Jackmaster to the after show party. He was playing there with Untold, and in the end they needed to protect me because I think everybody in this club wanted to take a picture with me, and I needed to sign everything, like arms and faces, everything, like like cell phones. I don't know why it's happened. I mean, I think these guys were the first guys who booked us in the UK. I mean, they were just one show before, the day before in London at Plastic People, but it was with Martin from Rub It Up, so Glasgow connection, and then we played with Numbers, and since then we played 1 or 2 times a year with them. And this year we stopped playing Modeselektor, so we have a break now, and we continue touring with Moderat in the summer. And Jack forced us to play Numbers a lot, so let's see the exception this year that we play, and tonight. So
Jack.
we usually we wanted to DJ tonight, but I couldn't find my record back. I'm not kidding. It's true. So then we switched to we play live tonight, Jack. It's no DJ set. Oh.
Yeah,
Hi.
horrible that.
Hi. Getting a little back to the technical side of things, I'm Moises from Mexico, and I was just wondering, what do you guys use to sync up your computers?
Ethernet cable.
It's
So-
OSC.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
OUC.
OUC.
Oh, I see now.
OSC.
Ryan, over there.
Hello.
Hello.
A slightly less technical question. You've had a lot of really amazing producers do remixes for you. Do you approach these people purely because you're into their music, or because of profile, or both, or whatever? And which is your favourite remix that you've had done for you? And another one quickly, is there anyone who is obviously alive that you would love to remix your stuff and hasn't yet?
Wow.
I cannot tell you which remix is my favorite. Maybe you have a favorite? It wouldn't be fair to say, okay, the remix producer XX did is the best. So
No, not the best, but like, you know, because they all tend to be pretty good, you know. But maybe like a personal. Not saying that the rest of them are rubbish.
I think I'm pretty much into the Serious Mo stuff. I don't know if you heard of this guy, and I'm pretty impressed by him because I don't get him. I don't get what's he doing. So he is actually mastering his new record for our Monkey Town label. We started a label just a year ago called Monkey Town.
Don't send demos to us.
We started the label. We started the label just because of Zero's Mo, because of this guy, because he gave me tracks and I was so depressed because it was too good. You know, it was just too good. And I think the stuff and the remixes he did, they were amazing. But I was so impressed by the remix Marcel Detman did for us, which is totally the way you were talking about. But this is next level quality, I think. You know, then I don't know. But for us, it was a new thing to get remixes. You know, because before we dropped the last record, we just did remixes for other people, and then we got this amazing remixes from all these amazing musicians from this planet. Yes.
I mean, on on that note, it's like yeah. So knowing all you guys' applications and knowing that you have a certain loving for a band from this country, actually, how did your perception change when all of a sudden people like Tom York were name checking you all the time? And asking for remixes and stuff.
we couldn't believe. It's still pretty unreal. So when someone asked me, how is Tom, how is Colin, or or how is Björk, then I cannot tell you. It's like being on a rush. I mean, it's that there was one crazy moment we played in New York at Studio B, and we had a good time in the backstage, and with a lot of friends, and then the club promoter came in, was nervous, like, Björk is coming, Björk. Like, oh, Björk is coming. And then
no innuendo here.
And then Björk came in, and we ended up singing Jump Jump from Crisscross. So it was like.
But in the moment when she came in, it was so quiet.
Yeah, all our, we
30 people went into came.
just boys,
just
backstage,
boys.
just talking about beats, cars, YouPorn. And then everything changed. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's for me, when we toured with the big band with Radiohead, that was for me the experience we had was how big is possible. I mean, the whole production was just amazing, and how they work, and very interesting. And I think when we released the first record called In Loving Memory in 2002 on B-pitch control, and it was just we just did an on-off thing. It was just like, just release it and that's it. And then Tom York was in a German MTV thing, show, or Viva show, and he talked about us, about this record, and I think this was maybe one of the reasons why we said, okay, it's not that bad, so let's continue. I don't know.
We were very nervous in that moment. Yeah. Can you imagine that? You receive 50 short messages on your phone.
Yeah, all our friends were like, it's America. Yeah, but yeah, he's cooking his tea with water anyway, so like everybody.
Do we have another question? No. Do you want to send us off with either a video or something live or both?
Was wollen wir spielen? Techno. Mal Techno spielen oder was?
Harten Techno.
Techno or Electro or Hip Hop or Grime. It's a little bit old fashioned, I know. I don't know. What do you want to spielen?
Let's make a
No.
surprise.
UK Funky is too new. No, I'm just kidding. Live or video? Live or video? Yeah, okay. But you need to... No?
Well, I guess this would be the official end for everything involving a mic. So please get up and thank the boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.